Right now at 6, a medical examiner testifies in a preliminary hearing for the case of a woman neglecting and killing a 6-year-old boy from the dairy. And city workers and police clear out 2 lacrosse parks for cleaning and maintenance, displacing the people who had been living at the parks.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski. A woman accused of killing a 6-year-old boy in Medarie was in court this morning. 31-year-old Josie Dykeman appeared in person at the preliminary hearing. News 8 Now's Dua Israr was at the courthouse where a medical examiner testified about the extent of Alex Xavier Pedron's injuries. Dua?
Ken, Dykeman is facing an intentional homicide charge for the death of Alex Xavier Pedron. She's also facing multiple charges related to child neglect. The medical examiner says those acts of harm were visible on Pedron's body.
Did you perform an autopsy on a 6-year-old child identified as Alex Xavier Pedron?
Yes, I did.
On Wednesday morning, medical examiner Dr. Reed Quinton testified to a full courtroom about what he saw on a 6-year-old's body.
Cause of death in this case was blunt force trauma.
Dr. Quinton stated Alex Xavier Pedron had multiple bruises.
I would say if you look at the totality of the face, scalp, neck, it's well over 10, probably closer to 15 or so.
According to the 16-page criminal complaint, investigators say 31-year-old Josie Dykeman called 911 in February. When deputies arrived on the scene, Pedron was on a bed, unresponsive. In his testimony, Dr. Quinton says Pedron's brain was swollen and there was a tear in his liver.
So there were about 100 milliliters of blood just free within his abdominal cavity. There was also a lot of hemorrhage and bleeding around the head of the pancreas.
Quinton says there was Xanax in Pedron's system that also contributed to his death.
It's a drug that this child, as far as I'm aware, is not prescribed and should not be in his system.
Dykeman's attorney argued that her bond should be waived because there are no direct witnesses that can testify Dykeman caused harm to Pedron.
There are no direct witnesses who will testify claiming that Ms. Dykeman was the individual who inflicted these injuries on the child in question.
Dykeman's attorney also argued that Dykeman does not pose a risk to community members. District Attorney Tim Grinke disagrees.
To say she's not a danger, I think, is false. She's objectively a danger to children. Multiple children in her care have ended up with fractures, falling downstairs, and a death.
Judge Elliot Levine said there is enough evidence to keep the bond at $1 million cash bail. Ken?
All right, Dua, thanks very much. Another preliminary hearing is scheduled for June 9th. A Chippewa Falls man is behind bars accused of attempted homicide. 27-year-old Abraham Sanchez Galicia is charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide, mayhem, and first-degree reckless injury. And according to the criminal complaint, at 1 a.m. on May 20th, Sanchez Galicia showed up to the police department covered in blood, saying someone was injured at a nearby house. Police say they went to investigate and found another man face down, bleeding, with cuts all over his face, neck, and hands. The victim was taken to the hospital for several emergency surgeries. Through an interpreter, Sanchez Galicia says he argued with a friend over a tortilla, and the victim tried to attack him first with a beer bottle. According to the complaint, Sanchez Galicia says he took a glass shard and stabbed the victim repeatedly, not to kill him, but to get him to stop reaching for other beer bottles. Police say Sanchez Galicia told them he had 12 beers before the incident. The judge initially set a $50,000 cash bond. He is in court tomorrow for a bond hearing. The La Crosse County DA's office and Wisconsin Department of Justice are looking to point crime victims in the right direction. Marcy's Law for Wisconsin met with the DA's office and DOJ today for a mapping exercise, which analyzes what victims go through in order to help them better understand their rights. The director of Marcy's Law for Wisconsin says that bridging the gap between victims and leaders is important.
There are many stakeholders who are involved in serving victims of crime, and so getting together everyone in the same room is tremendous because we can learn about everybody's insights, everybody's roles throughout the process.
Leaders also said getting local stakeholders in the same room is great to learn insight from each person that plays a role in serving victims of crime. Mapping exercises are useful to find out what has been successful and what needs improvement.
Well, as advertised, we were in the upper 80s to low 90s, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, or for those who are my age. Scratch CD. For the next couple days, we'll see temperatures staying in the upper 80s, low 90s, and we're going to keep a small rain chance in the forecast. We made it to 90 today in La Crosse. Same story in Eau Claire, 88 in Sparta, 87 Viroqua, Prairie du Chien, oh so close to 90. You were at 89, 88 was the high in Decorah. Outside right now, we have sunny skies at the airport. Temperature is 90. Humidity is at 30% with winds out of the south-southeast at 13 miles per hour. In Eau Claire, you're at 86 degrees. Humidity is at 30% with winds out of the south-southeast at 11 miles per hour. Other temperatures across the area, so we're at 90 in La Crosse, 88 Sparta, 90 in Boscobel, so we're not too far off in some places from our high for today. Radar scan showing a clean sweep across the Coulee region, but in some places, especially in our northern zone, that will change as thunderstorm chances will start to ramp up. But I think the majority of us, though, will stay partly cloudy to mostly clear. By the 8 o'clock hour, we'll see a temperature of 83 degrees, upper 60s, low 70s will greet you by the mid-overnight hours. And when you wake up in the morning, temperatures in the low to mid 60s will greet you. That's going to be one of those days where if you have to make that morning drive to work, roll the windows down, blare the music, and have at it. But we have cooler temperatures in the forecast, and I will talk about that with my 8 Day in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Eric.
You bet.
Well, Cameron and Burns Parks in the city of La Crosse are now temporarily closed. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen joins us live outside Cameron Park to show what the park looks like right now. Emily?
Ken, just this morning, the south side of Cameron Park was lined with tents. Now it's empty. For the people who are sheltering there, it means finding a new place to stay again.
There's a closet over there because this is all we have. That's my daughter's and that's mine.
Wednesday morning, April Martin was living in Burns Park.
They don't really care about the homeless. They're being moved and shuffled all over.
Hours later, April is moving again.
I don't think people realize how hard it is. You have to lug your stuff around.
For the next few days, April and other unsheltered people living in the park have to move.
So I either have to go here or under the bridge.
The more populated Cameron Park is also closing.
A lot of our parks aren't really built for this everyday large population use.
La Crosse's Parks Director Jay Odegaard says it's so the department can do maintenance, cleaning, tree inspections, and park repairs.
The best way to do it, as you can see the equipment in the background, is to safely get everybody out of here and make sure that, you know, the guys can get to work without having to worry about hurting somebody.
La Crosse resident Kevin Hunt says these closures are unfair.
The counted homeless is over 200 people. We have waiting lists at all the shelters. They're gonna go somewhere, okay? And they're not gonna go into housing because the city's not providing it.
Odegaard says this isn't permanent, and it's an important part of their routine.
One of the things that we are going to try to do is, again, be cognizant of the amount of tents and stuff that start coming into the park, but again, it's a public park, and it's where people are meant to go and enjoy themselves.
In the meantime, the unsheltered will keep moving. Well, Odegaard tells me that the gates will come down and the park will be open in time for the farmers market on Friday. Live in Cameron Park, this is Emily Haugen for News 8 Now. Ken, back to you.
All right, Emily, thanks very much. Odegaard also tells News 8 Now that this maintenance is important for public health and safety and to keep these parks in the best shape possible. Wisconsin lawmakers are discussing legislation that would tighten rules on sexual assault within the state's National Guard. A scathing report from the Guard Bureau in 2019 found that the Wisconsin National Guard defied law, regulations, and policies on handling sexual misconduct for years. A legislative committee drafted 3 bills in response, including proposals that would clarify that civilian authorities have jurisdiction over sexual offenses in the military. It would also prohibit officers from having sexual relations with junior soldiers and prohibit retaliation. Wisconsin's governor was out in Onalaska today, taking time out of the Capitol to help road workers fill some potholes. Governor Evers picked up a shovel with Onalaska Public Works employees today. A big focus of the governor's visit was safety. Department of Transportation officials say over the past 5 construction seasons, there were 6 incidents a day where a worker was injured on state roads. With roughly 300 state road construction projects a year, workers are asking everyone to pay attention and slow down in construction zones.
Speeding, tailgating, distracted driving are all dangerous driving behaviors, but especially so in work zones.
Those of us working behind the barrels rely on motorists to drive safely. Glancing at a text or social media alert while driving is not worth it.
The governor also took some time to highlight the need for funding infrastructure and transportation. When asked about shared revenue talks, the governor said those discussions are still ongoing.
We're still not there yet, and a lot of discussion between the two houses, which I think is a healthy thing. I believe strongly that Republicans and Democrats understand how important shared revenue is, and that impacts local people working on filling potholes too.
The governor says the Assembly and Senate need to agree on a measure that would allow the city of Milwaukee to raise its city sales tax. Still ahead, the most endangered buildings in La Crosse. The city's Heritage Preservation Commission releases a list of old structures they say are in danger of being torn down.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see.
Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
9 locations, 6 days, 1 name. Don't miss Pleasureland RV's largest RV sale ever. Memorial Day through Saturday, we're clearing out inventory at 30% off, 40% off, even 45% off. Brand new travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, ice houses, and pop-ups from the nation's top manufacturers. Just look for these star-studded savings online and on the lot during the largest RV sale ever at Pleasureland RV, best in the Midwest.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see.
Schedule your comprehensive eye exam at shopko.com or bring in your outside prescription.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
The newest list of endangered historic properties in La Crosse now includes Lincoln Middle School and Hogan Administrative Center. Today, the City of La Crosse's Heritage Preservation Commission announced the updated list outside Lincoln Middle, which the school district decided to close at the end of this school year. Also new to the list this year is the Glory Days building. The commission says a building being endangered does not mean it's guaranteed to be torn down. The group instead uses the list to raise awareness about the buildings facing potential demolition or redevelopment.
We want the community to be aware of their current state and help us by taking action to help save these buildings. So the community can step up and say, hey, buildings like Lincoln and Hogan matter a whole lot to us, and here's what we want to see done with the building.
The commission wants the community to know demolition isn't the only course of action for these buildings. A vote to historically preserve Lincoln Middle School is expected in June. Still ahead, an event to help you and the little ones kick off the summer.
And I'm meteorologist Eric Dean. As advertised, we were in the upper 80s, low 90s, so there's another mark for the month of May. Of course, this is going to get wiped tomorrow as June starts. It's also the first day of meteorological summer. We'll talk about that coming up in the First Warn forecast on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
I won't write your will.
I don't write contracts. I won't handle your divorce.
I do know a few things about personal injury law.
All I do is help injured people get the compensation they deserve.
At Bygoff and Rohde, that's how we get results.
This time of year has many different names. We call it Showtime. It's when there's work to be done and fun to be had. Plus, it's time for Auto Show, where you can experience new Ford SUVs firsthand. Then head to your Northland Ford dealers for exclusive offers like 0% financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 in open trade assist on select Ford SUVs. It's showtime. Hurry in today. Now for a limited time only, get 0% financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 in open trade assist on select Ford SUVs. Only at your Northland Ford dealers.
A caring nurse who needed some care of his own.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back again.
That's the upside to Robert's job. The downside?
I'm on my feet all the time.
Robert tried to deal with the pain on his own.
And I would roll tennis balls under my feet, frozen water bottles.
Nothing worked until he got fitted for Good Feet arch supports.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
See if they work for you with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
He's going to speak now.
The good news, US Cellular gives you $1,200 off any phone with no trade-in needed.
Wow.
So, friend who always has a broken phone can finally get a new one.
Oh, it's just a scratch.
It's broken.
Oh. Oh.
It's busted.
We're good. Oh no.
Get $1,200 off any phone with no trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
I'm going to Shields.
Hey, Dad. I'm coming too.
Guess we're all going to Shields.
Awesome. They have my bat.
I love these shoes. Mom, look.
No way. They have it.
We can use our gift cards.
Hey guys, we're here.
Shields Visa and Shields, the perfect combination for your favorite day.
When the insurance company sees Bygoff and Rohde on the other side, they know they're in for a fight. It's your life, but it's our fight. And they know that if they're not being fair with us, they will find themselves in court, and that's how Bygoff and Rohde gets results for its clients.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Tomorrow, youth agencies in La Crosse are hosting a summer kickoff party. The gathering is happening at Powell Park from 4 to 6. The youth-serving organizations coming to the party include the Boys and Girls Clubs, The Good Fight, Hope Restores, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and more than a dozen others. Quite the list. They'll have lawn games, flag football, arts and crafts, and food. Also tomorrow, Moon Tunes officially kicks off its 2023 at 5:30 p.m. That'll be at La Crosse's Riverside Park. The first of the free concert series is going to feature Tom Wopat and the Midwestern All-Star Band. The Wisconsin native and Dukes of Hazzard actor says the performance tomorrow is going to feature a nice mix of genres. Moon Tunes will continue every Thursday night throughout the summer. And I believe we know, in fact, that Apothic Food Truck is going to be there near Riverside Park, and the Pearl for some ice cream.
And where there are food trucks, there I am.
All right.
Love me a good food truck.
Live weather from Moon Tunes, perhaps?
Perhaps. I'll tell you
All
what,
right.
the weather, if the rain can hold off, I think we'll be okay. We do have the rain chances in the forecast. Tomorrow is also June 1st, and it's the first day of meteorological summer. So let's get right to it. Good evening, everybody. Take a look here at what we can expect for tomorrow. The first of the month, our average high will be 78, average low will be 56. By the end of the month, our average high goes to 85. Our average low at that point will go to 64 degrees. Now, in terms of precipitation, we average just over 5 inches of rain. We need the rain. Matter of fact, we're almost 2.5 inches of rain below normal for the month of May. And that's how we're going to finish. Our record, you have to go back to 1899 to see 11.56 inches. The driest May on record was 1910 at 37/100 of an inch. Now, in terms of sunrise and sunset, pay very close attention to this. So we gain 15 minutes of daylight from June 1st to June 24th. After June 24th, the days start to get shorter. At that point, we lose 3 minutes of daylight. After that, we continue to lose it until we get into December. So we made it to 90, nowhere near the record. Look at that, record 107, set back in 1934. 61 was the morning start. 77 and 56 is where we should be for this time of year. And right now, we're going to finish the month at 2.58 inches below normal in terms of precipitation. Now, the radar scan, we have a clean sweep across the area at this hour. We have a low pressure system that is off towards the west. You can see it right here. You can see the rain and thunderstorms firing up across portions of Iowa, going into portions of Minnesota. Some of this will clip portions of the Coulee region for the evening and overnight hours. I think the majority of us will stay partly cloudy to mostly clear, unfortunately, because we really need a good soaking. Now, Our best chance of rain will be in the afternoon and evening hours for tomorrow. So here's 7 a.m. We'll start the day off with plenty of sun. You can see that southerly flow. You can see the stray shower picking up across the area by the 5 to 8 o'clock time frame, and then another shower across the northern zones for the overnight hours going into Friday. Here's the broad perspective of this. You can see again Thursday morning we keep that southerly flow in play. You can see the shower starting to fire up there by the 3 to 6 o'clock time frame. And then another stray shower in the overnight hours across our northern zones for early Friday morning. And then that'll dissipate. And then by Friday afternoon, we'll stay partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then the precip chances pick up yet again. So the bottom line, we do need that precip, and we do have the chances in the forecast. So the first warn forecast for tonight will go to 65 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Overnight storms possible, especially in our northern zones. Winds will be out of the southeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. That takes us into the next 8 days. 90s for tomorrow and Friday. 90s for Saturday. Plenty of sun with highs in the upper 80s, low 90s for Sunday. Mid 80s for Monday. Low 80s. Some places even upper 70s for Tuesday going into Wednesday, but Tuesday cannot rule out an isolated thunderstorm chance. Definitely a great evening to fire up the grill some burgers and dogs, or just lounge outside. Why not?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Eric.
You bet.
Coming up next in sports, UWL baseball gearing up for the D3 College World Series. Plus, two of our area squads going head-to-head on the diamond in lacrosse this afternoon. Aquinas and Whitehall for the D3 regional finals. Rob is in next.
Spring is a great time to plan your next home improvement project. Call now for a free estimate on windows, doors, siding, sunrooms, decks, baths, kitchens, or flooring.
Oh no, I think I lost my debit card.
Okay, don't panic.
Don't panic, we're in a mall. Some stranger's probably tapping new shoes, tapping a washer-dryer combo, just tapping everything in sight.
It's okay, just tap your phone. With BMO, you can use your phone to freeze and unfreeze a lost card.
I can?
And you can always get a new card instantly at a BMO branch.
I got my tap back.
You ever seen someone this excited about a debit card before?
Oh, yeah. Not this excited.
When a bank gives you instant peace of mind, that's the BMO effect.
And action! Get up to 50% off list prices on hundreds of items at the huge memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture. Incredible deals, like this recliner, free when you purchase the reclining sofa, or these incredible beds, both at our lowest price ever, or this beefy recliner marked way down. How about a Lazy Boy recliner as low as $375, or $499 gets you a Sealy Posturepedic mattress. Plus, we'll throw in a 7-piece bedding bundle free, up to 50% off at the huge memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture. Do not miss this one.
To everyone who appreciates a handcrafted meal, are you ready for a taste of Wisconsin?
Butterburgers cooked fresh, just the way you like.
The way you love.
Definitely love. And our thick and creamy frozen custard, we make it for you all throughout the day.
All day.
All day, every day. Put it in the extra work and not cutting corners.
Takes a little longer.
But it's how we've always done it at Culver's. Because making your meal with care shows how much we care.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now's Rob Schiff.
In less than 48 hours, all eyes will be on the state track meet at UWL, but there's a ton of playoff action going on in all of our high school spring sports. We'll start tonight on the diamond with two of our area teams going head-to-head with a spot in the sectionals on the line. Division III regional final, top seed Aquinas hosting Whitehall this afternoon. This one a pitcher's duel early on in the first. Norse with 2 on, but Tanner Peterson gets the ground ball. Blue Golds get out of a jam. Bottom 1 now, 2 on for Eddie Peters. He gives this one a ride deep to left, but not deep enough. It stays in the park. Whitehall gets out of trouble in the first. Let's go to the second. Peterson still dealing. He'll take the comebacker here himself. Toss it over to first. A 1-2-3 inning for the Blue Golds. But Whitehall's Braden Lazowski matching zeros early on in the second. Lazowski strikes out the side. In order, impressive start from both pitchers. We'll have a final score from this one later on tonight. On to college ball now. What a weekend it was for the UWL baseball team. Eagles surviving a thrilling 3-game series at Copeland Park against UW Stevens Point. Now lacrosse is one of 8 teams headed to Cedar Rapids, Iowa for the Division III College World Series. UWL will open up Friday night against Lynchburg. This will be the Eagles' 3rd trip to the College World Series. They went back-to-back in 2015 and 2016. Loggers are off to a hot start after sweeping the home-and-home series against Eau Claire. Lacrosse is back at the Lumber Yard tonight to begin a 2-game set against Waterloo. The Loggers opened up their home schedule with a 4-2 win over the Express last night. They'll look to make it 3 straight tonight to start the year as they welcome in the Bucks. First pitch about 10 minutes from now. We're a third of the way through the Major League Baseball season, and despite hovering around 500 for most of the year so far, the Brewers are the only team in the NL Central above that 500 mark. Milwaukee comes into tonight with a record of 28-26. Brewers still 1 game up on second place Pittsburgh. Brewers are north of the border tonight taking on the Blue Jays. Toronto got the win in the opening game of the series last night. Julio Teheran gets his 2nd start tonight for the Crew. And Ken, he looked good in his first one. He hadn't pitched in 2 years in the majors. So if they can get something similar to that, they need it.
Yeah, 5 innings, I think just the 1 earned run in that first start, so not too bad. But it just always puts a smile on my face. The NL Central is so terrible. I think it was 2 weeks ago the Cubs manager was talking about only being a couple games out of first place. Right. He was like, what do you attribute that to? And the guy was like,
no one being.
Thank God the NL Central is this bad.
Yeah, the Brewers just got to start hitting.
Yeah. It's always been a problem. So pitching has been there, hitting not so much.
Right.
All right, Rob, thanks very much.
You got it.
We'll be right back after this.
See the stories you missed or watch them again on our YouTube page. Or find us at news8000.com.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
Keep your home's exterior beautifully protected with Menard's great selection of exterior paints and stains. Dutch Boy Exterior Stain and Sealer is dirt and scuff resistant to preserve the wood's natural beauty and begins repelling rain in just 4 hours after application. Pick up a gallon of semi-transparent for $28.47 after rebate. Try Cabot Premium Stains and Finishes for unbeatable quality and protection against weathering for your exterior wood surfaces. A gallon of Australian timber oil is $49.98 plus 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Hello, my name's Boris Gump. Chocolate? Mama always said buying a car was like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're gonna get. Me and Jenny, we buy all our cars at Sleepy Hollow. They got new cars and used cars, a body shop, parts and everything. Like me and Nate, the Sleepy Hollow serviceman, we just like peas and carrots. I'm not a smart man, but if you need a car, you should be running to Sleepy Hollow.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Schedule your comprehensive eye exam at shopko.com or bring in your outside prescription.
Forecast for the next several hours, upper 70s, low 80s by the 8 o'clock hour, mid to upper 60s by 4 a.m. Then when you wake up in the morning, temperatures in the 60s will greet you. Not a bad evening at all.
Not bad. All right, Eric, thanks very much. And thanks for joining us tonight at 6.